Each year, at our annual banquet, the Marching Centurions come together to celebrate what we've accomplished during the season. It's also when we say goodbye to our outgoing seniors.
This group I've known since they were in 8th grade. I've seen them grow up. I've seen them go through hell and back. I've seen them go through fires. I've seen them go through a shooting. And I've seen them go through a pandemic. And they came out stronger than I've ever seen before in my life! Yes, seniors! Seniors, you truly give me hope. You give me hope that you are the next people to help make this world a better place. So please go and do that.
In 2022, 26 musicians and 2 color guard members moved on to the next chapter of their lives, including drum majors Zag and Ben and color guard captain Grace.
It was a good way to end that chapter of my life, I think.
To leave a lot of these people behind it's unfortunate, but I feel like it's time for me to move on.
I'm happy that I get to leave. I think I've had a good 4 years, and I think it's time. I think they're going to have a great season. It's going to be wonderful.
At the same time, we also look forward to the much anticipated announcement of our exciting new marching show and our new student leadership.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce your band director, Mr. Bob Rodriguez.
I was sitting there, I was like, there's no way I'm going to get there. He's only going to choose 2.
I decided to go with 3 drum majors.
My heart pretty much stopped. I was like, wait, I might have a chance to get into this.
We're going with 2 assistants and 1 head drum major. Your 2 assistants are...
The pause was like one of the longest pauses I will ever experience.
Sam Perez and Shannon Marks.
I lost my mind. I was just incredibly shocked that I even made it to that level where I was able to be in leadership.
When my name was called, I was in pure shock. I was confused, excited. I had a flood of emotions. It was confusion. I did not expect to get drum major.
It was one of the best experiences that I have ever had, being so young to get something that I thought I had to be older to get.
And your 2022-2023 head drum major for the Saugus Band Color Guard. Give it up for Raquel Atol.
It means the world to me, honestly. It's such an honor, especially because I've been wanting this for so long. It felt like a dream came true, like a little freshman me wanted this so bad, and here I am. Now I'm getting announced in front of all these people that were cheering really, really loud. I was crying, like really hard, like different kinds of emotions. Happiness, proud, relief. It was amazing.
This is Saugus Marching Centurions Road to Washington. Follow the Saugus High School Band and Color Guard as we work toward the ultimate goal, marching in the 2023 National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. But before we do that, we've got some work to do, and some competitions to take on. Let's meet our leaders.
I'm Raquel. I am the head drum major for Saugus High.
Raquel, a senior, may be our head drum major, but she's also been known by 2 other titles, Pageant Princess and #1 champion Jiu-Jitsu fighter.
Until I was about 11, 12 years old, I was a championship Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. The reason I stopped, and actually the reason I'm in band, was because I had an injury that really stopped my ability to train for a long time. I couldn't be on the ground, do ground grappling anymore. So that was really hard, and I was just like, oh, now what do I do? Because that was a big part of me that was just taken. So I joined band because of that, and I actually started pageants because of that. The program that I'm part of, Miss SCV USA Leadership Program, I've completed over 375 community service hours, just working with the city, Chamber of Commerce events, nonprofit organizations. The pageant road has prepared me for being drum major in so many ways, especially leadership. And it gave me a lot of good ways to communicate with people and lead people and become more involved in the community. It's pretty shy. I don't think I would be doing this if I hadn't done the pageant before. I wouldn't be able to hold a good conversation. I wouldn't be as comfortable speaking in front of so many, a group of 99 kids, if it wasn't for giving a speech in front of a couple hundred. So it was just really like a good eye-opening experience. It got me out of my shell and it gave me a lot more confidence to do what I do now. It's like the 3 different parts of Raquel: the fighter, the princess, and the band nerd.
For the 2022 season, Raquel is joined by 2 assistant drum majors. First, there's Shannon, a sophomore.
I'm Shannon, and I'm the assistant drum major for the Saugus High School Marching Band. I've lived here for only 2 years. It's when I came into the Saugus High School Marching Band program. This is a different kind of friendship where I feel like it's a family and not just friends, and I can be a lot more open with them. I've had a pretty strong music career since 6th grade, and I've fallen in love with it. Other things besides music though, I'm the oldest of 5 kids. Being a drum major, to me, it's an opportunity for me to take all of the lessons that I've learned, quote unquote, bossing my siblings around and being a stronger leader in other situations and applying it here so that I can become the best version of myself and help other people become the best versions of themselves. As a sophomore and a drum major, it's kind of enlightening for the freshmen. Age doesn't determine when you can do good at something and how you can change people's lives. So I feel like I'm trying to be an example of you can do what you want to do, you just have to put the effort in and you gotta want it. Being a drum major for me, it's a learning experience and it's a teaching experience.
And rounding out the 3 is Sam, a junior.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm one of the assistant drum majors at Saugus. I have a brother with autism, so that's definitely shaped my life a little bit for my foundation. Try to make new friends at school, just try to be fun, have a good time, while also trying to fit this new leadership role that I've been granted with.
Another thing Sam was granted with was an opportunity to join Pacific Crest, a marching band in Drum Corps International, otherwise known as DCI.
I went to a camp and they offered me a contract. I was completely shocked. I did not think I was going to make it. And as soon as I got that contract, I was like, well, I have to do this summer. Even if it meant possibly giving up the drum major role, it was my biggest dream.
Drum Corps International is proud to present Pacific Crest.
DCI, it's Drum Corps International, pretty much professional marching band. It's pure just brass and percussion and color guard. It's probably the most elite group of people that play those instruments in the world. Whole summer experience of learning a professional marching band show with dance, choreography, loud music, really loud music, and technical playing. Very physically demanding and mentally challenging things. And then when you have that show together, you perform it in front of tens of thousands of people, pure drum corps fans. And you compete against some of the elite names in drum corps. We performed out here at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, Stanford University. That was a huge one. The Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, which was an amazing experience. To perform in front of all those people was like life-changing stuff. But when it comes to this band, there's a bit of a problem. I would have to skip band camp. How am I going to do this? How am I going to build these relationships? I didn't really have a plan for what I was going to do for this time.
As Sam traveled the country with DCI, Band Camp 2022 was in full swing.
Lather up, stretch block, get some water. I'll see you guys out there.
Starting with 2 days of new member camp.
This season, band camp was different than the ones before. These kids are like connecting with each other already. Like, they're doing great.
Okay, ready? We're gonna count them off. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3.
I think they were a lot stronger than I was my freshman year. I think I like passed out my first day of band camp. They were ready. They were strong. They were determined. They were good. These freshmen, they're killing it. They're really, really good. A lot of them play more than like 3 instruments, and they can ace every single instrument. I'm in awe of our freshman class, honestly.
This band camp, I cannot express to you how impressed I was with everyone's attitude. The freshmen especially, because they didn't know what to expect at all, but they're out there, they're working incredibly hard. I was watching them, I was like, dang, they're doing really good. They're gonna help a lot.
Then, it was time to bring the whole band and color guard together, spending 2 intense weeks working on the upcoming show.
I love band camp. Oh my gosh, band camp.
Once everybody came, then it felt complete. The majority of kids who are just like, this isn't for me, I think they have left. I think that's why this year feels so different. Everybody who's there wants to be there, or they're at least willing to put in the work to be there.
There's no complaints. I feel like every year that I've been here, there's always some big problem. And this year, so far, knock on wood, there's no big problem. So I'm happy about that.
Now that the people that want to be here from last year are here, there's a lot more dedication to the program and to get work done and to do good.
It didn't take long for our new leaders to become true teammates.
Make the noise!
Keep working, new members. I love you. You're doing amazing already. I'm really proud of you. You got this.
I love you all so much. You're making this band the way that it is now, so keep it up.
Shannon and I connected really quickly, actually. I just barely admitted this to her, but I was actually a little terrified of her, last year. She's so pretty, and she had, this really intimidating face, which I've learned that I do, too. But, every time I would look at her, I'm just like, oh my gosh. Even though she was a freshman, I was like, oh gosh, she's a little scary, but she has, the sweetest heart, and so we connected really quickly.
Apparently, I have a really mean resting face. She told me this recently, so I find it funny.
Despite Sam not being able to be there for band camp because he was touring with DCI, it was really fun. We did our best to stay in contact with him and update, oh, here's a video from rehearsal. This is what we're working on today. As much as we could, because we knew he was busy. We didn't want to overwhelm him.
To be honest, I'm hearing a little bit, but I'm so focused on what I'm doing with my drum corps and having rehearsal all day, having no free time. I don't have the time to go on my phone and oh, what's going on over there? So I had barely any connection. I'd kind of see a couple things oh, that's fun, they're doing this, but not a lot. So it made it that much harder to jump into full band rehearsal. I didn't look at any of the music. I didn't know how the drill is going to work. I didn't know the band dynamic. Basically, the Saugus 2022 marching band, I knew nothing. I sent one little video introducing myself, but besides that, that was the only thing that these kids knew about me. While I'm in Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Indianapolis, the band is creating these bonds, creating these new friendships, creating new levels of respect for the leadership roles. And me not being there, it's daunting.
But Shannon and I think we did a pretty good job at keeping the fort down despite the lack of our third drum major.
And they aren't the only ones to hold down the fort.
If you're a freshman and you're a rookie, you're doing freshman rookie things. You're missing step-offs, you're missing halts. You're oh, that was 8 and 6. You're running into the back of people. Ask the seniors. They were freshman ones too.
I'm Rob Guzman. I'm the color guard director at Saugus High School. This is my 4th year with the program. Yeah, I'm just excited for the program to grow. Yeah, it's a lot of new members this year, so it's a lot of fun.
For Color Guard, they were already over a month into the season, starting rehearsals back in June. Here are captains Chloe, Bree, and Taryn.
I'm really excited for this upcoming season, being able to see a lot of our new freshmen grow and see where we go. If we go to champs, if we go to Washington, it's going to be fun.
The improvements that everyone's made in the past month and a half for the Guard is very different, and I'm proud of all of them.
We have so much potential here in our team. Everyone is in the right headspace. We're all focused. We all really want this. So we're all here for a reason, and we're here to work.
Tomorrow is our parent preview, which means we will be performing all of the stuff we've been learning over the last couple of weeks. Okay, here we go. 7 Nation Army. Bom, 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 bom. And 1, 2, and. Welcome to our 2022-2023 parent preview. How we doing out there? This is my 2nd year as band director. We've got a fun-filled evening for you guys. We've been at band camp for the last 2.5 weeks, and we have been working on what's called a field show. They have been sweating. They have been getting dirty. They have been acting. They have been screaming and yelling and crying and bleeding and everything that is associated with marching band. And it's good for them because you will see at the end of the season the product, and it is truly incredible.
Several local leaders showed up to offer their support, including Superintendent Mike Coleman.
I'm proud of these kids. I'm proud of this community. It goes without saying that we've been through a lot, right? And to see what they've accomplished and what they have the opportunity to enjoy and be honored with just makes me really proud as superintendent. So I'm happy and I'm proud.
And Santa Clarita's mayor, Laureen West.
I love the Saugus Band, and they're just great kids. They take it serious. They love what they do. They're really supportive of each other, and they're talented, and they just keep working at it. They're not only representing our city, they're representing our state in Washington, D.C. I mean, how amazing is that?
Things were positive. We were looking forward to the upcoming season, and we were getting the band back together.
I remember getting off the plane from drum corps and then going to sleep, waking up, and telling myself, well, time to be a leader. Guess we'll figure it out as we go. It was crazy.
We were like pretty excited for Sam to come back. I think the transition was pretty smooth when he came back on that first rehearsal.
Sam, Raquel, and I, we did not know each other, or at least I did not know them last year. But when Sam came back, we had been texting, and it was like we'd been best friends for like 15 years. It was really seamless. I'm happy that he's back.
It was a huge transition period for everyone. I really just kind of was shadowing because Shannon and Raquel made such a good dynamic over band camp and just like over the summer. I could see all the kids are enthusiastic towards them. They all love them. For me to just like show up and be this like kind of third wheel in the drum major relationship, it made it difficult to gain respect because everyone already looked up to Shannon and Raquel a lot. It was a big growing period for everyone, but mainly me. People looking at me like, who the heck is this guy? I think I was more scared than the freshmen were when I showed up because I had to find a way to make friends with all these kids and get some respect from freshmen who I've never met in my life. It was weird. Thankfully, I had a lot of help from everyone, my peers in my section and the other drum majors as well. I did my best. I tried to seem as calm and collected as possible, but like before rehearsal, I was giving myself pep talks. I'm like, okay, Sam, you got to do this, man. You're going to talk to all these kids. You're going to think of what to say beforehand. Man, I don't even know what's going on. I guess we'll figure it out as we go. You're going to build bonds with your section. Hopefully, I'm going to do my best. Here we go. Jumping in. I tell myself that every rehearsal when starting because it was tough to just really go at it.
Being gone, it's a whole different band. Seriously.
I know what it's like to be called out and don't feel like the world is against you. We're really trying to help you.
Along with a life-changing experience, Sam also brought home a few lessons for us all to learn from.
I definitely took a lot of inspiration from Anthony Borja, my section leader from last year. We marched together at Pacific Crest. And last year, I definitely had a lot of issues with leadership. I just didn't know. I thought I was doing the right things, but I was doing more things that were annoying. A lot of stuff were not my place to talk kind of things where I'd kind of act more like a teacher when I didn't have the position to be a teacher. And he really snapped me out of things that were bad. And it really changed me. I didn't even realize I was doing that last year. I wasn't even in a leadership position, but I was trying to help other people. And I just kind of came across as like, what is this guy now? What's his position? That's dumb. Why is he telling me what to do? I'm still learning a lot this year, but I've gotten more self-control thanks to Anthony really teaching me a lot of things. Yeah, I thank him a lot for the good things that I've done so far in the leadership position.
And those lessons have paid off, helping us create a strong, united team.
I think we all like work together really, really well. We have a great bond and relationship. They're so fun. I love them both so much.
It's like really fun right now. It's fun to connect, yeah. It's there's fun and chaos right now. Like It's really chaotic, but like no one cares because no one knows what they're doing. Exactly. It's really good. It's fun.
That's the fun aspect.
Yeah.
It's awesome. All of us are better friends than I would have imagined to be at the start. We joke around all the time. I have already funny stories with them, which is really good because from what I've heard from past seniors, drum majors in the past haven't always been the tightest. And so far, there hasn't been, and I don't think there will be, a big annoyance, which is really, really lucky thing.
This is gonna go way off topic, but so Raquel has seniority over what bus she got to pick. So Raquel got bus 2. Yeah, it's just gonna, okay. But so Sam and I, we both wanted to be on bus 2, and then
because they love me so much.
Mr. G comes up
We
and
played
he
rock,
goes,
paper, scissors. I won. End of story.
No, okay, there's more to that though.
This is a really good leadership team. Everyone in leadership likes each other, from what it seems.
For the 2022 school year, with new school start times in California, marching band rehearsals have been moved to afternoons instead of early mornings. Not great news when temperatures are hitting 110 degrees. Then there's issues with the field itself.
The biggest challenge that I'm facing right now is getting a field, a space for us to actually rehearse. Think about this, we only get 2 days a week, 3 hours each day. That's a good chunk of time, but it's limited. We have to use that time wisely, and we have to be able to get as much done as possible. And if we don't, our chances of going to championships, it's lower.
We have fought so hard just to be able to get on the field. Last year, we had conversations about we're switching to nighttime rehearsals, which is already a huge adjustment for returning members.
We really got the raw end of every deal getting into like these after school rehearsals because we were told that we had the field this one day, but then turns out we don't actually have it because no one was communicating about us having the field.
There were some conflicts with the younger football team. They reserve our fields for like certain amounts of time during the week.
We get on the field and there's other people on the field that don't go to our school that are just practicing out there. So everyone's confused. Rehearsal, it just was super, super hard. We tried painting a field on the blacktop to try to fix this so we could get our own time. Field was painted wrong. Then we had to go to an upper field that was not great.
Everything was going smoothly until it got dark and we couldn't see anything.
There were no lights up there. We only had like 1 or 2 lights that were donated by parents, so it was really hard to see. It was difficult for the marchers to like do their drill. Seeing helps a lot. You know, you have like certain guidelines. Oh, this person's supposed to be in front of me, but if you can't see that person, there's going to be some issues. Even me, I almost fell off my podium because it was like on uneven grass. People were bumping into each other. People, unfortunately, were getting hurt. People were angry. I'm going to admit, I was pretty angry. I was like, this is our school. Why are we getting shoved to the field? That's not ideal for us. We need something. People were just exhausted and feeling defeated.
And it wasn't just the students who were upset. Our parents were concerned for our safety.
We have to create a petition, or we have to start writing to upper management because it's sad.
Take pictures.
It's so sad.
Then we have the kids painting the lines.
Yes.
It's frustration. When I picked up my student, do you know what they did to us today? You know how mediocre the lines were painted? We don't even have enough space to practice. And our hands are tied. Who do we contact? How do we do this?
Principal Jenny Peterson Henry.
Our campus here is the smallest square footage campus in our valley, and it's also the highest enrollment. And so when it comes to facilities, we have some definite challenges, not just for extracurriculars, but also for our academics. We have teachers, whole departments where not one teacher gets a whole room, their own room the same day. Providing connections for students is so important. And a lot of times the strongest connections come with extracurriculars. And so it's very difficult when you're dealing with facilities issues. And you don't ever want to say no, like, no, we don't want to have this program or that program. But at the same time, there is only so much space. And so working out with the facilities, that became very challenging. But it takes a lot of flexibility on everyone's parts, and that's what we've gotten. And so we appreciate that.
Assistant Principal Ashley Winkler-Gore.
2/3 of our sports use fields for their practices or games, right? And there's only so much daylight and there is only so many field lights. So that was kind of the first piece of the puzzle that we started working on. And then the district is also a piece of this, right? Because we can't just go out and make changes. We have to include the district. So it was kind of an outreach program, getting them involved, getting things approved, having them come out And then working towards, like, all of these things were to try to make arrangements for the band to be able to get the best practice time that they could while we were trying to get to an ultimate solution.
I think it got a little rocky in the beginning for sure, but with flexibility, persistence, and creativity, we were able to work it out.
We were able to find a common ground with the school, with the administration, and they helped us out to let us have the field. The heat's over, and we've got a field with some lights, and so we're good to go.
This won't be the last challenge we face, but one thing we can count on, no matter what happens, is that Mr. G will be there to put it all in perspective.
Actually, like the field situation, he was just like, yeah, you know, guys, it sucks, but people have it like this all the time, or they don't have a field at all, or they're in the parking lot with no lights ever. It's like pretty humbling, I think, for everybody, just like, oh, wait, you're right. Like, this is first world problems. At least we have something, you know? So I think he opens our eyes a lot to stuff like that.
I grew up in a rough neighborhood. At the time, it was pretty rough. There's gang members. There was race wars that were happening that I wasn't aware of, but my mom was aware of. I'm mixed, by the way, too. So, like, my mom is black, my dad's white, but I grew up in a Hispanic community, like Mexican community. And so I kind of blended in, but my mom warned me about that. Be careful about people around here, because there's a lot of gang violence and there's a lot of drugs that were going on. So staying in the band was actually very good for me to stay out of trouble, because my mom knew about all that stuff and she didn't want her children to be influenced by that stuff. So band really, in a way, like kind of saved my life, because I saw a lot of my other friends get into trouble and go to jail and doing drugs and things like that. Band was definitely like a saving grace almost.
I think it connects him because I know he had a pretty difficult upbringing, but I think that's what made him stronger, honestly. He had his challenges growing up, but I think he's learning from those and he's like, okay, I don't want to repeat this, I don't want to repeat that, and he's doing his best to like live the best life now and just like, you know, the past doesn't define me kind of thing.
I think what's interesting about doing marching band is that it gives students the chance to move together as a unit, and teaches them so many different things about life that you might not necessarily get taught in a math class. In my classroom, we respect each other. We're here to help each other. This is like a family, so we love each other here, and this is like their second home. They spend all their time here. They make all of their friends here. People go out and do all kinds of stuff together, and it happens in the band room. It's a safe haven from the outside world. Some of these students, you know, are not as social, and they're kind of quirky and weird. I mean, I'm a weird dude myself. I mean, if you ever watch band people are just like very interesting human beings. Very smart, very intellectual, very weird. And I love that. There's something about that I think that gives them this kind of spark. They're all little artists. They're all little scientists. And I think they all can kind of relate in some way. I think that's what's really nice is they don't care about any of that stuff. It's like, oh, this is a great place for me to come together and I can be weird if I want and nobody's going to judge me. There's no judgment here. That's what I like about the band room. And every band room you go to, there's no judgment. It's like, just be weird. You can be who you want to be. And that's beautiful.
He's easily one of the biggest influences on my life from my teenage years. He's shaped me in a lot of ways that I bet he doesn't really even realize. He opened my eyes for everything and has really taught me so much.
I trust Mr. G a lot. He's one of the most trusted adults besides my family that I've ever had.
I was intimidated by him, like fully intimidated by Mr. G. He was super together and like confident and just a really good teacher. And I was like, okay, I don't want him to ever be mad at me. But I'm realizing now that, oh, he actually is less scary than I thought. And he's actually a cool guy to talk with, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable in building that relationship with him, which I think will help in leadership stuff.
The greatest goal of this podcast is to inspire our community and beyond to support the Marching Centurions as we embark on the road to Washington, D.C. But the other goal? To show the world what we're made of and what's truly special about being a part of this physically demanding performing art. Who knows? Maybe we'll even open up a few minds.
No. Marching band is definitely not treated as other activities.
I think a lot of people like overlook band, and it's just like the stereotype, oh, ew, band kids, like they don't know how to function in the world. They're all like socially awkward. And like, yeah, some of us are, but like, you know, we're good at what we do. We're an award-winning band. We made it to championships. We get all these trophies. You'd think that people would be like really proud and be like, wow, that's Saugus band, that's our band. But it's noticeable.
A lot of people don't really have the respect. For example, we go to a football game and we put on our show, no one's watching us. Like maybe a couple people, but like they don't really care. It's just, oh, it's the dumb marching band. Who gives a hoot?
Band has its stereotype of it just being filled with nerds. We're just like the weirdos on campus. And I've definitely heard that around campus. I've heard not so great things about us, but the band stereotype, that's going to remain forever unless we do something about it. So we're really trying to push towards being more of the fearless kind of performing arts, and we're the more dedicated performing arts, because I feel like performing arts doesn't get enough credit for what they actually do. They don't realize we put in so much effort to do all of this. It doesn't come naturally, and you need to put the effort into it.
If ASB was more aware of what we were doing, SNN that announces like everything, they have a sports section of the show. Like maybe we can get a performing arts section of the show, like updates on band, choir, theater, like all of us. I feel like rarely get recognition, not just us. I feel like choir and theater also deserve a little more recognition because they're also really freaking good. Just more connection like between the band and the rest of the school. I think if they have respect for us and we have respect for them back, I think it could have a really big impact.
I think we could definitely show the rest of the school what's up. I'm not a huge advocate for let's show them, let's blow them away with this, because like some people just don't like marching band, and I get that, but I also think it's less about people not liking marching band and more people just don't have a clue about what it is, or they just have never noticed us in the first place. If we can get more support from the rest of the school, if you like it or not, whatever. But then at that point, people will be like, oh, that's cool. I should check that out. I guarantee you, every single person in this organization, they're all super cool in their own ways. Just all awesome people.
Sometimes getting recognition starts from the top and trickles down.
Well, I think the Marching Centurions mean a lot to Saugus High School. I think they represent us. I don't know that there's any other program that is involved in as many things as they're involved in, because they're part of our Friday night football, and yet they also have their own season. They're also one of our biggest numbers-wise programs on campus.
I think they add an additional layer of school spirit that sometimes we don't even know that we love so much until it's like Friday night at the football game and they're like playing their pep songs. And it's been cool to be a part of the band program overseeing now, because now I'm learning a lot about it. I didn't know a lot about it before, and now I appreciate it a lot more, all of the hard work, and they're always here. They're always here, like at any time.
They live here.
So what's our goal for the season?
The goal is just do one better. That's it. I'm not trying to get first. Let me say this right now. I'm not trying to get first place. It's not like we're not going to work like we're trying to get first place, but I'm not trying to get first place. My goal is to get 5th place. That's it. Just one score higher. If we do better, fantastic.
Man, this season, dream goal, top 5. If we can get top 5, I will be stoked.
I think we're going to get 5th or higher this year in championships, because I know that we're going to make it in championships because these people have been putting in so much work.
We got a talented group of individuals. Very, very talented. And it looks like we're doing some good work out on the field and progressing fast. So if we keep up what our momentum is doing right now, I think we can get the top 5.
Oh, I'd be really happy. But if we got higher, that'd be even better. I had a conversation with my dad about this. I was telling him, I was like, oh yeah, his goal is just like 5th or higher. He's like, yeah, that's great, but like you guys can go for first. Go for first. Knock West Ranch and Hart and everybody out of the way. Aim for first. That's the mentality that I'm going into the season with. You need to train like you are number 1 to be number 1. But like if we get 5th or higher, that'll be great.
My personal goal is to just be the best leader that I could possibly be. I've been gifted with an opportunity to lead a band, and I want to do it well, and I want to be able to inspire other people to do good too.
I'm a low brass guy, so I want our low brass section to be like one of the highlights of the Saugus band, or even just our brass section. Because don't get me wrong, woodwinds are awesome, but for everyone listening, brass is better. And if we can get the Saugus horn line to be like clean, I think the judges will just eat us up and we'll shoot up in places, especially music. We got just good sounds coming from everyone, and everyone is looking way more willing to work than last year, which I think is probably the most difficult thing besides just playing. This goes for the whole band, really. Everyone is really willing to work this year.
Being able to conduct at championships already last year, just performing was like amazing. Like I was awestruck like the whole night. So if I'm able to lead my band and these people that I love so much at championships, that'll be like another dream come true, something that little freshman me would have never imagined.
Next time on Saugus Marching Centurions, Road to Washington.
Let's give it up for Saugus High
School! Silence! Who's been painting my roses red?
When they announced the show, God, I was like screaming my head off.
All the Queen's Roses. It's really fun. It's so much fun.
This is like so much more intense than I thought.
I think we're making everyone feel something inside. We had a pretty solid run, so that's all that really matters, and we feel good. So
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun. I had so much fun.
The amount of serotonin that I could just feel just go around the entire band. It's something I've never felt before.
It means good things for the season to come. Really excited.
The Marching Centurions need you. To make a tax-deductible personal donation or for sponsorship opportunities, check out the link in the show description.
As a community, just to donate a little bit. If everyone in the community could just glance at this podcast and say, man, this is some cool stuff, and just donate a couple dollars, maybe like $10, $20. It might not seem like a lot, but if everyone does it, guarantee you life-changing stuff right there.
Thank you for your support. Saugus Marching Centurions Road to Washington is a limited audio series created by Morgan McDougall Productions. Produced by Jackie Morgan McDougall. Edited and mixed by Jeff McDougall. I'm Brady Mack, Saugus High School Junior and Marching Centurion. Thanks for listening. For all things Marching Centurions, visit saugusband.com.